Jungkook sat on his chair and sighed. The staff room was quiet except for the ticking clock and the soft sound of paper moving. He leaned back and rubbed his tired eyes. Too much work, he muttered softly. He opened the stack of exam answer sheets in front of him. As a professor, checking the papers was a part of his daily routine. But today his mind felt heavy. Stress had been following him for a few days. Lectures, meetings, deadlines. Everything felt overwhelming. Still, he picked up a red pen and began checking. Wrong formula, he murmured, marking a cross on one paper. He moved to the next sheet, trying to focus. A few minutes later, his phone suddenly rang on the table. Jungkook glanced at slightly annoyed at first, but the moment he saw the caller ID, his expression instantly softened. A smile spread across his face. On the screen was a photo of his beautiful wife, Van, holding the tiny 4-month-old son. The was laughing in the picture while Van, his chubby cheeks. Jungkook's eyes filled with her. He quickly picked up the call. He said, his voice suddenly full of energy. On the other side, Van smiled, hearing his cheerful tone. Cook, did you take a lunch? She asked gently. Jungkook leaned back in his chair, relaxing. I did. And you? Did you eat? He asked softly. Is my Jam troubling you? Van chuckled quietly. No, Cook, he's not troubling me. He is peacefully. Jungkook smiled widely, imagining his tiny son with his small fist near his cheeks. Really, my strong boy is, he said proudly. Yes, Van whispered. He just, and Jungkook's heart melted. He said softly, his voice turning emotional. Work is so tiring these days. Van's tone became a gentle and caring. You are working too. Cook, don't press too much. We are waiting for you at home. Jungkook closed his eyes for a moment, feeling a peace, hearing her voice. Just hearing her makes my stress go away, he admitted. There was a small rustling sound. Cook, Van whispered excitedly. Wait, he's moving. Jungkook immediately sat straight. He woke up. A soft sound came from the phone. Jungkook's eyes widened and he smiled brightly. My son, he whispered happily. Is he awake? Yes. Van laughed softly. He's looking around like a confused one. Jungkook laughed quietly so he would not disturb the staff room. Put the phone near him. Van placed the phone near the. Say hello to Appa, she whispered to their son. Jungkook's voice turned soft and sweet. Hello, my champ, it's Appa. Did you wake up? The baby made a tiny sound again, almost like a response. Jungkook's eyes filled with her. I cannot wait to come home and hold him, he said. I'll come early today. Really? Wan asked happily. Yes. Jungkook smiled. We'll have a dinner together and I'll take care of him so you can rest. Wan felt in her heart, my best husband, she said softly. Jungkook smiled playfully. I know. They both laughed quietly. Okay, Wan said, don't skip meals and don't stress. You. Jungkook's expression softened. My son, for me, I will. After the call ended, Jungkook looked at the phone for a few seconds, still smiling, and his stress felt like the now. Jungkook reached home late in the evening, loosening his tie. As he stepped inside, the moment he entered, the soft scent of food and the gentle sound of his tiny cook welcomed him. A smile appeared on his face. I'm home, he called softly. From the living room, Van picked out, holding their little son in her arms. You are late, she said, but her eyes were full of. Jungkook walked to them immediately and her forehead. Sorry, Professor Life, he sighed. He then looked at his son and gently poked his chubby cheek. The blinked at him with big eyes and moved his tiny hands. Van laughed softly. He was waiting for you. They sat together and had a dinner peacefully. Jungkook kept glancing at his son every few seconds, completely in. After dinner, he picked the up and walked around the living room. Appa is here, he whispered playfully. They made a small happy sound, kicking his legs. Jungkook chuckled and his forehead again and again. Don't spoil him too much, Wan said, smiling as she watched him. He is my son, I'll spoil him. Jungkook replied proudly. After a while of playing, they slowly grew. His small eyes fluttered, and he rested his head on Jungkook's shoulder. Jungkook gently rocked him until he finally fell. He carefully placed the indicative beside their bed. Both of them stood there quietly for a moment, watching their son. He looked so peaceful, Wan whispered. Jungkook moved closer behind her and wrapped her arm around her. Yes, just like his mother, he murmured softly near her ear. Wan blushed slightly. Jungkook turned her gently to face him and pulled her closer. He whispered with a teasing smile. Wan's cheeks turned red. Cook, she said shyly, but did not move away. Both of them froze. Wan blinked. Who could be here this late? Jungkook looked at her, then at the wall clock. It showed 1 a.m. I don't know, he muttered, clearly annoyed. His peaceful moment with his wife had been interrupted. The doorbell rang again. Jungkook sighed lazily and got up from the bed. Whoever it is, you know everything, he murmured dramatically. Wan tried not to laugh. Jungkook quickly wore his clothes while the doorbell kept ringing impatiently. Wan slipped back into her nightdress and fixed her hair. Jungkook walked downstairs slowly, stiff, half annoyed. He opened the door. Suddenly, a girl threw herself onto him. Jungkook stumbled slightly. What? He gently pushed her away in surprise. Jungkook, the girl said, smiling. Jungkook looked closely and frowned in confusion. Anna, it was a Wan's younger sister, Anna. Before Jungkook could say anything, footsteps came from upstairs. Wan walked out of the bedroom and stopped at the top of the stairs. She looked down, her eyes landed on Jungkook, Anna, standing so close at the door. Her expression turned confused. Anna, she said slowly. Anna looked up and saw her sister. Wine quickly came downstairs and asked, Anna, you are here at this late? My flight got delayed, that's why I reached so late, she said softly. Wine's worried expression is, oh, that's all, she sighed in relief. Anna nodded. I did not want to disturb you, but I had no other place to go at this hour. Wine gently held her hand. Don't say this. That this is your home too, she said. You must be tired. Go and rest in the guest room. Anna gave a small smile. Thank you, Uni. She picked up her suitcase and slowly walked toward the guest room. Van watched her go, then turned around. Jungkook was already looking at her. He leaned casually against the wall, arms folded, a teasing smirk on his face. Van raised an eyebrow. What? Before she could react, Jungkook suddenly lifted her into his arms. Cook, she whispered in shock, quickly holding his shoulder so she would not fall. He chuckled softly. Let's go finish what we left. He murmured near her ear. Wan's cheeks turned red instantly. You are impossible, she whispered, hiding her face in his shoulder. Jungkook carried her upstairs like she weighed nothing. Both of them tried not to laugh too loudly so they would not wake up the. They walked toward their bedroom, lost in their own little world, not noticing a pair of eyes watching them from the hallway corner. Anna stood there silently near the guest room door, her expression completely different now. Her eyes were filled with a jealousy. She watched as Jungkook carried Van into their bedroom gently, as if Van was the most precious person in the world. Her nails dug into her palm. Enjoy, Van, she whispered under her voice cold. Soon Jungkook is going to be mine. Her curl into a faint smile. I'll snatch him from you. Morning sunlight slipped softly through the curtains, filling the bedroom with a golden glow. Jungkook and Van were still in the bed sheet and comfortable in each other's arms. The room was a quiet, peaceful. Jungkook slowly opened his eyes and smiled faintly. Sunday, his favorite day. He moved closer and softly placed a gentle on her back, brushing his along her shoulder. Once stirred slightly, feeling the of his. Cook, she murmured. He gently turned her to face him and brushed her hair away from her face. Good morning, he whispered softly. One blinked slowly, still, then smiled, seeing him so close. Good morning. He leaned down and placed a soft on her. Today I am free. No college, no work, he said happily. Wan chuckled softly. I know what that means. He grinned boyishly and pulled her closer into his arms. They quickly pulled slightly apart. Uni, are you awake? Anna's voice came from the outside the door. One eyes widened. Oh God, Anna, she whispered, suddenly realizing they were not alone in the house. She quickly sat up and fixed the bed sheet around herself. Cook, it's time to wake up now, she said hurriedly. Anna is here. What must she think if we stay in the room like this? Jungkook and fell back dramatically on the pillow. Seriously? Hey, no, he muttered, annoyed. Every Sunday they usually stay in bed until 10 a.m., spending slow, peaceful time together. It was their routine, their private world, and now interrupted. He ran a hand through his hair, clearly irritated. I don't like unexpected guests, he mumbled, especially when they interrupt my time with my wife. Van rolled her eyes, trying not to laugh. She's my sister cook, I know, but still. He's sitting up. Another knock. Uni, Anna called again a bit louder. Van quickly got up and wore her robe. Coming, she replied. Jungkook watched her with a small pout. Sunday Ryun, he said dramatically. Van turned and gave him a soft look. She walked back and cupped his face and his cheek. We'll have a time later, she whispered. Jungkook's expression softened instantly. Promise? She nodded with a shy smile. Promise. Satisfied, Jungkook finally got up from bed and started getting ready, though he still looked slightly annoyed at the interruption. After lunch, the house felt calm and Wan stood in the kitchen washing dishes quietly. The soft sound of water filled the space while sunlight entered through the window. In the living room, Jungkook held her little son in his arms, gently swinging him side to side. He whispered, his chubby cheeks made a soft sound, staring at Jungkook with wide eyes. Jungkook smiled proudly. Just then, Anna walked into the living room. She stopped near him and smiled sweetly. Jungkook, you are really good with her, she said softly. Jungkook gave a polite nod. He's my son. Anna stepped a little closer than necessary. You look very handsome today, she added, tilting her head. Jungkook frowned slightly, feeling uncomfortable. Thank you, he replied shortly, his tone formal. She leaned against the sofa near him. You must get tired handling everything. College, home. Wine is lucky, she said, her voice softer. Jungkook's expression slightly. She is my wife, taking care of her, and my son is my responsibility. Her tone was calm but distant. Anna smiled stiffened for a moment, but she quickly hid it. Of course, I was just saying, she replied. Jungkook did not respond further. He simply focused on his son, clearly uninterested in the continuing the conversation. From the kitchen, Van glanced at them, but did not think much of it. Anna stood there for a few seconds, then quickly walked away, her jaw tightening. Night came. After playing for a long time, their son finally fell. Jungkook gently placed him inside the crib and adjusted the tiny blanket carefully. Sleep well, he whispered softly. He turned and saw Van entering the room. She closed the door behind her softly. She asked in a whisper. Jungkook nodded and walked toward her. Without, he pulled her into his arms. Van let out a small surprised laugh. Cook. He buried his face near her, holding her close after a long day. You haven't been busy for the whole day, he murmured. Now you are finally with me. She smiled softly and wrapped her arms around him. I am always with you. Jungkook leaned back slightly, looking at her face with affection. Jungkook froze. He slowly closed his eyes and sighed. In complete frustration. Seriously, he muttered under his. Another knock came from outside. One tried to hold back her laughter, seeing his annoyed face. Cook. He looked at the door like it was his biggest. Why does someone always knock exactly at the wrong time? He said dramatically. He rested his forehead on her shoulder, clearly frustrated at yet another interruption. Fan adjusted her clothes and went to open the door. Anna stood outside holding a glass of water. She looked between them and gave a small awkward smile. Did I disturb you guys? She asked softly. Van quickly shook her head. No, not at all. She said. Behind her, Jungkook sat on the bed with a book in his hand. He did not even bother to look up. His expression was calm but distant, clearly not in the mood to talk. Anna noticed his silence. I just came to ask if you need anything from the market tomorrow, she said, trying to sound normal. We are fine, One replied politely. You should rest. You traveled yesterday. Anna nodded slowly. Okay, good night. Good night. Wine smiled and gently closed the door. The moment the door shut, Jungkook sighed and threw the book aside. Finally, he muttered. Wine laughed softly and walked toward him. You are acting like a. I just want my wife to myself, he replied honestly, pulling her into his arms. Night passed peacefully after dinner. The house became a quiet. There, like him for the first time in the whole day, Jungkook finally had the van completely to himself. No interruption, no knocks. He held her close, showing her with Jungkook brushed her hair gently and smiled softly, looking at her. He whispered. Carefully, he moved away so he would not wake her. He wore his shirt and stepped out of the bed quietly. The house was silent. He walked out of the bedroom. He slowly went down the hallway, stopping in front of Anna's room. For a moment, he just stood there, his expression unreadable. Then he knocked lightly. The soft knock echoed in the quiet hallway. Inside the room, Anna was awake. She had been staring at the ceiling, unable to. The moment she heard the knock, her heart skipped. She quickly got up and opened the door. When she saw Jungkook standing there, her eyes widened slightly. Jungkook, she whispered. Jungkook stood straight, calm but serious. Can I come in? He asked quietly, and I immediately stepped aside. Yes, of course. He walked inside and closed the door behind him. For a moment, silence filled the room. Anna's heart was beating fast. She had imagined this moment in many ways, but now that he was actually here, she felt nervous. Jungkook did not sit. He remained standing, his expression firm. Anna, he began calmly. I'll speak directly. Anna followed slowly. What happened? Jungkook looked at her with a serious gaze. I don't like the way you behave around me. Her face froze. I respect you because you are one sister. He continued, but I am not comfortable with your closeness or the way you talk sometimes. Anna's finger tightened slightly. I did not mean anything, she said softly. Jungkook's voice remained calm but clear. You may not realize it, but it crosses a line. The words, her, he said firmly, and I don't like anything that disrespect her or our relationship even unintentionally. Anna looked down, her jaw clenching. Jungkook softened his tone a little. You can stay here as long as you need. This is your house. This is your sister's house, but please maintain boundaries. Silence filled the room again. Anna slowly nodded without looking up. Okay. Jungkook watched her for a moment, then turned toward the door. Good night, he said simply. He opened the door and left. The moment he walked away, Anna's expression changed completely. Her eyes with anger and humiliation. So this is how it is, she whispered. She looked toward the door where he had just left her, curling slightly. You rejected me for she muttered coldly. She felt humiliated and embarrassed. She thought Jungkook will say nothing, but Soft sunlight entered the bedroom as Ayan opened her eyes. She stretched lightly and smiled, seeing a Jungkook already awake, sitting beside the grave and watching their son. You woke up early? She asked softly. Jungkook turned and gave her a gentle smile. Could not much, he replied calmly. Ayan sat up and fixed her hair. I'll make a breakfast, she said, getting out of bed. Jungkook nodded, but his expression remained thoughtful. Downstairs, the house felt strangely quiet. Anna, she called softly, no response. She frowned slightly and walked toward the guest room. The door was half open. She pushed it gently. The room was empty. The bed was neatly arranged. Her suitcase was gone. On the table, a small folded note lay there. One picked up it up and confused and opened it. Uni, I had to leave early. Something urgent came up. Thank you for letting me stay. Take care of yourself and the Anna. One blinked in surprise. She left without telling me, she murmured. Just then Jungkook appeared behind her. She messaged me early morning, he said calmly. Said she had some work and needed to go. One look at him. Oh, she did not even wake me. She did not want to disturb you. Jungkook replied smoothly. One nodded slowly, though she felt it was strange. Still, she smiled faintly. I hope she is okay. Jungkook stepped closer and placed a hand on her shoulder. She'll be fine, he said gently. One smiled and nodded. Jungkook leaned out and captured her. They both shared their. After some time later, they pulled away. Jungkook said, caressing her soft cheeks. One blushed. Jungkook smiled and hugged her.